Okay, so here we
Hallelujah.
are. It's August.
Wow. Gee, well, it's weird.
So
I
I
think
think
it's
at the end
weird.
of this year, we will have been doing this for 2 years.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep. At
Oh,
least we keep in touch with each
well,
other.
I'm glad you could finally show up.
Thank you. Totally out when you called.
Oh, I'm so sorry to wake you. But
No, okay.
yeah, good to see you. So, I saw a few little posts on Facebook. I didn't read through them all, but well, we're going to talk about that. I want to hear, everyone wants to hear how things are going with the jail ministry. Things keep getting shook up, twisted,
Yeah.
and contorted, and you're still staying up on the wall doing your thing.
I keep remembering that. I
You're
keep
doing a
remembering
good work and you can't come down. Nehemiah.
that. Yeah. Wow. So I had to change the time that I go into the jail for I would think you went in on Saturday at daytime, right? So that's been a long time, right? So I've been going in, I would think at least 5 years on Saturday from
Right.
1:30 to 3. And it's to to my advantage because all the deputies get to know who I am. We interact. They learn to trust me and know I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do and not do what I'm supposed to do. Um,
Unless you
so I have
unless you bring a little mentee with you who lets one of the inmates borrow her coat.
that was fun, wasn't it? We got called to the hall together. We got called out over the intercom
Yeah, we did.
system, all to the hall together.
Oh,
Yay!
yeah. Yeah.
That was really
Anyway,
fun.
right. So,
So, so it's different, and there's one deputy that's there at night that was there when I used to go at night before, so he does know me. I did learn something uh, last night, something that he said about me that was very disturbing because I
oh,
really thought we were
oh,
on the same,
really?
yeah. But
Oh,
anyway, he's the only one I know, uh, and then the rest of them are new. And maybe 3 months ago, we had a bunch of rule change, and we just got a notice through email that we couldn't take notes in anymore. We couldn't take Bibles in. What? We when we walk in there, we go in with nothing. So it makes teaching hard for me. I'm a teacher. I like to have my Bible, so that's been interesting. They I can't bring my CDs in anymore to play on the CD player. I have to order them, and you can't order anything from Amazon. But no, Amazon around the country, they've had things coming from Amazon warehouses that had drugs put in them. So
somebody on the
nothing,
somebody's on the inside at Amazon. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So nothing Amazon.
Wow.
But here's the deal.
Hmm.
It's very difficult to find Christian CDs. The artists don't do that anymore. They
I know.
stream.
Yeah, right, right, right.
So I don't have the music that I want.
Hmm.
It's very difficult to find, even at Christian bookstores, very difficult to find contemporary, real contemporary, up to date music. Is just you can't get it
Wow.
because they stream it, They
Hmm.
may later put it out on a CD. I don't know, but I can't get my music. And
Hmm.
so I do the best I can with that. They used to be able to request songs, and they're still saying, "Hey, bring in my favorite." And I'm going, I can't, y'all get this
Wow.
through. I can't bring it in.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
it's so disappointing because I
but
know that's a
last
good
night,
part.
uh,
Yeah.
also, before all this hit, I'm under a ministry. I'm under Higher Ground Ministries. It's a, they gone through they got all the KO whatever, all the notifications, all the whatevers. It's a
Are they a
regular,
nonprofit? Are they a non?
yes,
Yeah.
they are a nonprofit. Uh, and years ago, I was concerned that the inmates didn't have Bibles that they understood. They kept saying all we could take were King James Version of the Bible back, and they're going, Miss Judy, well, I don't even know what this means. And so took about a year and a half to work on getting Bibles, and we bring in these life
Right.
recovery Bibles, and and we have classes and people who support the ministry that send in ministry. So, and these things aren't cheap. These
Right.
Bibles are not cheap. And so we used to bring them in. So you can't do that anymore. And so we had a real problem because there's a room, it's a closet, a dump all closet for the jail, but it's called the Bible room. And so they put Bibles in there. And one time our Bibles were delivered, and other ministers just picked our Bibles up and took them back to the back. And so Janet got special permission to bring in a little bin and put them in the bin. And also, we have a lock on it.
Well,
So um, that was okay by the chaplain. We got that set up. I guess it's okay to tell this stuff. I'm just telling facts.
yeah.
So last night I went in, and the guy, uh, I assume he's new, but I don't know that. They're getting new instructions anyway. I know I taught in Christian schools for years, and you have tons of rules and regulations, and sometimes they're enforced and sometimes they're not, and nobody knows what is going on, and that's
Yeah.
this. So I go in and go to the bin and put in the combination to get the Bibles out. And he said, I don't think I'm going to let you do this. What? I don't think I'm going to let you take those Bibles back.
Hmm.
Now they're in the Bible room. I didn't bring them in.
Gosh, that was last
They're,
night.
mhm.
Oh my gosh, Judy.
So, I'm just like,
Oh,
I heard him three times. He said, I'm about to just say, I'm not letting you take those bottles. I just kept getting them out. You have to take the cover off. I just kept doing that and pile them up and put the lock back on and just, okay, what we doing now? So then I said, and he said that three times. I think I'm gonna make a decision. You can't take those bottles back. And I said, well, let me tell you this, I'm really gonna shock you now because see that CD player up there? I'm gonna pull that down and take that back there. No way that's going back. I will not, no. I will not let you do that. Bless you, shoot.
excuse me. Sorry.
And he said, there ain't no way. There
Ah,
is no way you're
now,
taking
is
that
this the
back.
one that you have known before? Is this a newer?
No, never,
Okay.
never seen. It's a younger guy.
A little bit of
And
power.
I said, okay, we'll tell. And other people went in the Bible room. They're getting their stuff and getting out because this is. And I said, well, what do I do to get this straight? I said the chaplain has given me permission to do this. who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? And he said, well, the person up at the front when you walk in that little glass room. No, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. So I said, okay. So I did take the Bibles back, but I couldn't take the CD player. And
Oh, I know that's really disheartening.
well, you know, I, ever since I've been going back in on Monday nights, I've had new deputies.
Yeah. Okay. So like,
One lady let one guy the first, not last night, but the night before, the guy let me take it back. He
mhm.
said, I didn't know you could take those back now. And I said, I've been doing that for years. I've been taking the CD player. The chaplain let me put it in here. It's in here. He let me put it in here. So then he had radioed down to on the floor. And so when I got to the floor, they had the door shut to go on the floor so that when I buzzed in, the woman could say, when the door opens, you have to come to me. I need to check out that CD player. The guy in the Bible room just checked out the CD player. Then I was told nobody can touch it. Don't let anybody touch it. Anyway, it's just little things. I let it get to me too much. But
Well, yeah, it's frustrating. It's just okay. So one,
your
first,
time, my time is very limited,
right.
and having to go back there and spend 10 minutes
Mhm.
haranguing around about all this stuff
Mhm.
takes on. And the first last week when I went in, uh, I think it was last week. I can't remember. I think I've only gone 3 times.
Mhm.
But uh no. The first time I went in on a Monday night, the guy kept coming over the intercom. You only got 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you're leaving. Then you're leaving. And they talk to me like that. I don't appreciate that. I'm just in there doing, and I'm too old for that, to tell you the truth. Some little whippersnapper talking to me like that. But anyway, then that was in the first cell block I went into. Then the next time I went into another, then I went down the hall to another cell block, and then the woman came into the cell block and said, "It's time for you to leave." And I was getting my stuff together.
Ah,
So
mm.
uh,
Okay,
anyway,
so I want to just kind of reframe this. Like, let's put it in its bigger context, right? The bigger context, we know that we're always living in the context of war. We are always on a battlefield, right? And
it's much more evident within
right,
the last 3 months over there,
it's heightened.
within
It's
the
like
jail.
it's been ramped up. Like, but
Yes, it's been
I'm
ramped up.
thinking Ephesians 6, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, but
And
against,
you know that I taught a whole series
yeah,
in the jail
right.
about 4 months ago,
But
going
we have to constantly remind ourselves that the faces, these what do you call them? Wardens
through
or
deputies.
deputies, their faces are the faces of the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That's what they look like to you right now. Right. And so, of course, they're going to keep coming at you because you're doing a good work. You've come to set captives free. This is bind up the broken heart and set the captives free. And the enemy just
Absolutely. You
doesn't.
know that those are my verses that are some of my life verses,
I
what you're
know.
quoting right
I
there.
know. And I'm just reminding you this is what's happening. I know you already know it, but this is what's happening. And this is why I always keep saying to you, you're doing a good work, Camp Down. But I don't know if anybody knows what we're talking about. Some people might, but it comes from Nehemiah chapter 6. Nehemiah has his people, they're trying to rebuild the wall. right around Jerusalem. And they have these adversaries that are just constantly attacking them and trying it to the point where um Nehemiah, everybody that's working on the wall is carrying a sword in one hand and building the wall in the other, because that's how threatened they were, but they kept doing the work, right? And so let me just see if I can get this Nehemiah 6, the chapter. Let's see. One through, let's just do 1 through 10. All right. Let's see here. So word had come to him that Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, and the Arab, and the rest of our enemies, that I had rebuilt the wall, and not a gap was left in it, though up to that time I had not set the doors. Sanballat and Geshem sent me this message: "Come, let us meet together in one of the villages on the plain of Ono." Oh no! Oh,
I know, I know. Mr. Rayford used to make a big joke
oh
about
yeah,
that.
it's so funny.
So it's,
But
oh no.
but listen, but they were scheming to harm me. They were scheming to harm me. So I sent messengers to them with this reply: I am carrying on a great project and cannot come down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. And I just see this is what's happening to you over and over and over. And yes, I'm going to keep saying that to you because
Yes, please, please
I
do.
mean, you have to just keep remembering the context, the greater context in which you're serving, and you're doing such a good work, Judy. And we've seen that evidence. We've got testimonies, some that you've been able to share openly, others not, but it's making a huge impact on them. And darkness is being turned into light. You are the light in the darkness, and the darkness is in opposition to the light. You are going to be opposed. Frustrating as all get out, and yet you're remaining faithful. That's what's good. That's what's beautiful. Other people watching this, they have these same issues going on in other areas of their lives. But when you know that you know that you know you're doing a good work, you're doing God's work, what He's called you to do, you can't let their voices pull you down. You can't let these young deputies, they've got a little bit of power and control, and it feels good to
It
have
is
that kind
about,
of authority.
and see, here's the deal, and this is just how I'm wired. I'm a teacher.
Right,
To me, that's like a student.
right,
These young
right.
guys saying this silly mess to me. And I have to keep, we can't say anything back to them.
Right.
So I have to keep in mind
Right.
it's tough.
Yeah, because the boy bear wants to come out.
I just want, I don't know. One time, I do this? One time, one of those young men was real smart to me, and I think I said to him, would you talk to your grandmother like this? I'm like the age of your grandmother. I don't think you need to talk to me like that. I could probably get in trouble for that, but there's a
Yeah,
point.
I hate it. I hate it what they're doing. I hate all the opposition that you get. But it does tell us the importance of the work. Because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be resisting. They wouldn't be interfering. The enemy doesn't like what you're doing.
You remember, isn't it isn't it enlightening how multiple times somebody has told me, I don't want you giving out Bibles. You remember when I had that thing with another deputy about
Right,
that?
right, I do. This has been a constant, the Bibles and the music have been a constant source
Yeah,
of
that's true.
pain
That's
ever
absolutely
since
true.
you've been in
It's
there.
absolutely true.
But you have kept fighting for those women, and you've won. You keep winning.
I'm
I know,
you
I know
know
it's
that
wearing you
you,
down.
You know that, yeah, it is. You know that way back there was a young Christian woman who sang, "Deep inside this armor, the warrior is a child." That's what I feel like. Gee,
That was
and I
Twyla Paris.
literally,
Twyla
yeah,
Paris, the
it
Warriors.
was, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
I can tell you every time before I go in there, I suit up and I literally suit up in the armor. I and when I taught Ephesians chapter 6 at the end, sometimes when the pieces of the armor are taught, the emphasis at the end of giving all the armor is prayer. He emphasizes you got to pray to the Spirit. And when I was teaching it, I had listened to a guy teach on the armor, and he had made a point that sometimes we have to be careful. We can be dependent on the armor rather than realizing the armor is just protection that the Holy Spirit is going to use on our behalf. And I have to ask him, I sit here and I think, what would it be like if I didn't prepare the way I prepare before I go? I would probably knock somebody out.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
probably lose
Oh
it.
yeah. The Boyd would come out like be punching people's faces.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way last night with that young man.
It was more of a weariness, like, here
I
we
was
go
just like,
again.
please just leave me alone. Let me go back there. You know, uh, I,
Uh,
I don't know, but
okay, wait a minute. Here's one more thing though. This is where for those of your fan club that are listening, yes, you do have a big Judy fan club. Um, this is where we can be, this is where we can come in and support you in that ministry is like knowing when you're going in and praying for you is holding up your arms like they held Moses's arms up.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, I hope somebody will comment, I'm praying and I'm holding your arms up while you go in there because he couldn't hold them up anymore. He was just exhausted.
Yeah, Moses. That's how I feel. I'm
That's what I'm
exhausted.
hearing. And so we need
Yeah,
people to raise up to keep those arms
I
up.
think it was Aaron and Hur
Was it
that were holding
Aaron?
up Moses's arms while
Yeah.
he was a battle. It was
Yeah.
a battle
There was a
going
battle
on.
going on, and as long as his
And
arms were held up, the battle was
up
being won.
and Israel won.
So,
Yeah, I have noticed. I started uh maybe a year or two posting. I don't know how long posting when I was going in. I'll be going into the jail tomorrow, and I noticed from that point on a great difference
really,
by having people pray, and people will acknowledge they're praying when I go in, and I usually always when these crazy things happen, I will say, think what it would have been like if you hadn't been praying, you know?
I know it. So it is Aaron and her. They held up
Yeah,
Moses' arms during a battle against the Amalekites. Moses' hands
yeah.
were raised to God, symbolizing the Israelites' reliance on divine help. When Moses' arms grew tired and began to drop, Aaron and Hur supported them and ensured the Israelites' continued victory.
Right.
So we
So
need
I need that. I need my errands and my hers holding my hands up when I go
my
in
Aaron's and my hers. We can spell her Her, hers
there. Yeah, yeah.
to hold up
I
our
like it.
arms. So y'all listen and let's come together with Judy to do this. I think that's a good work. When then we all are partaking in the ministry.
It's true.
But that's
I
what I'm
it's
hearing is like I hear the weariness, I hear the tiredness of this constant battle over the same thing every time. It's like just when you feel like you've gotten and not just it's been the Bibles, it's been the music, and it's been the time which you get to go in. All three of them.
that's
And it's just constant, and yet you have stayed. It's also been the training.
it's
So we actually
because I have the spiritual child of mine that keeps reminding me I'm doing a good work and I can't.
can't come. Oh, I'm proud of you. Proud of you. I respect your dedication and your
Well,
diligence.
this is a calling. I mean, this
Oh
is a
yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's in your bones. You
Uh,
can't like it's
I,
like was it
yeah,
really
it's a
Jeremiah,
fear.
woe is me?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's exactly how I feel.
burns in my bones.
Jeremiah, yeah, yeah, he was gonna, he was weary. He was just gonna quit sharing the truth of God, and he said it just burned in his bones. He had to do it
Right.
right now. I have to do it.
You
I have to do it.
do. And you are doing it.
I can't say I've been going in on nights, I think for three Mondays. It seems like forever this has been
Yeah.
going on. But the first night I went in, and there was a young black female deputy, and she's the one that says, "You have to stop and let me check the CD player again." I thought, well, to start off that way. And so I looked, I wasn't used to the schedule. And so I looked in A1 and I said, man, it looks like they're watching some TV show. And she said, in A4, they're waiting on you. They've already told us to turn down the TV, that Miss Judy was coming. And she said, they're waiting for you. And I took off for A4, walked in there. They're sitting at the table with their Bibles and paper waiting for me. Because, see, for May, probably a year and a half at least, when I've gone into that cell block, they were in
Right.
lockdown.
Right. Right. Right.
So now they get to come and sit at the table with me. And that night, one of the girls told me three different times, one of the inmates told me three different times they asked them to turn the TV down. If they turn it off, they won't, then it takes a long time to get, so they turn it down. They told me they asked one person who came through and said, no way, I'm not doing it. Another person came through, not tonight. Nope, I'm not doing it. And then this is, I don't know, there's a leader in that cell block. This girl, when she gets out, she needs to do whatever she needs to do. She could manage the world.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And so I don't know, she must have had some kind of conversation with the person in the tower, and the guy from the tower came down and turned the sound down because she kept saying, Miss Judy's coming to teach us. We need the sound down.
Oh,
So, wow.
that's wow, Judy. I mean, it gives me chills. Like, what if you had gotten thwarted with the Bibles and the CD player and all that, and left those
Well,
women
this
just
wasn't
sitting?
last night. That particular thing wasn't
Well,
last
just
night.
any time, at any time, you would have
Yeah.
missed that
They,
opportunity.
I would have had no idea that night if that deputy
She has
said,
no clue what gift she's
you need
giving you.
you need to go down to A4. They're waiting on you. They're waiting on you.
Oh, that's some of the sweetest words ever.
And it was like she was kind of didn't know how to handle that. The deputy, she's kind of shocked. They're all down there waiting. You know, you need to go down there.
Well, we don't see what they see during the day and all the rest. So, but yeah, I mean, I wish I had a picture. I wish so bad you could take pictures, a picture of that.
And understand this. This is unique. I've never had this before. In that cell block, there's a Chinese
Yeah,
young
right,
woman and a Spanish young woman.
right.
They come to the table. Can't understand most of what I'm saying, but I did get a Bible in their native tongue for each of them, and we've learned how to help the Chinese girl. The Chinese, you Chinese, but they do have um anglicized uh writings for the books of the Bible too. But what I usually have to do is just go Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and count down to where I am and tell her this is where we are. And then I'll tell her 3:10 or whatever. And she's learned that when I say three, she knows she goes to chapter 3, verse 10. By the way, I call the it's frustrating when you can't communicate the love of Jesus to somebody.
Verbally.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
If you are
Wow.
communicating it in other ways.
Yes, I first communicated to her one night that I finally went, I love you. And she cried that night when I did that. She cried. She put her face in her hands and wept like a baby. So
Oh,
then I did the Romans map to heaven. And these are just ideas that the Holy Spirit gave me. I'm not kidding. I was lying in bed thinking, what could I what to teach? And that came to me. And she's got a Bible. So when we went through that's the book of Romans, and you go through verses, chapters, and verses, and it gives you the plan of salvation. I would stop and have her read it out loud. I wanted it to come from here out her mouth and into her heart. I had her read out loud in Chinese every verse. It was, it was, I can't explain it. So when we got through with that, I told her, God loves you. Before I did, I love you. Then and she understood it. I'm telling you, she understood it.
oh, I
So we
believe it.
tried talking to the Spanish lady, and the leader in there talk. She's learning their language to the extent she can, and so she goes looks at the Latina lady, and she goes, Jesus. What do you know what the Spanish word for heart is? Starts with a C. Okay. She biggest smile came on her face, and she said in Spanish, he's in my heart. She said the word for heart. And the smile on her face and the glow on her face, I knew she knew. Wow.
Wow.
That'll uh that'll make you want to keep going in, won't it?
Yes,
Hey,
I want to picture. It's
I know. I wish we had an artist
I
in
wouldn't
there.
know how to say it. Let me see. No, no.
Start, starts
Correct.
with a C. Spell it out for me.
Corazon
Corazon. Corazon.
or
That's what
Centro.
Corazon.
El Centro could be that too.
No, she didn't say that. She said Corazon.
Corazon. Okay.
And she pointed. And she goes, Corazon.
Aw.
Oh, mm,
Doing a good
see.
work.
Oh.
That's good stuff. And you need to be saying that so you can just remember why you keep going in week
Yeah.
after week after week.
So, seeing if I need to share this or not. That night, then I came out of A4 and headed down to A1. And as I buzzed into A1, a girl was standing there they have these orange slippers that they wear. And she had a pair of orange slippers in her hand. And she said, would you get that deputy and tell him I've got the wrong size. These are larges and I need a medium. And I just took them from her and went to the lady, to the deputy, and said, these are the wrong size, and can we get the right size? She took them. Let's just say there were three deputies in the hall. Let's just say they weren't very nice about this girl. And the lady took the slippers and went past me. And I said, well, what about I just get them back so she can at least have slippers? And she said, she'll get some. And they said more, but I probably should just keep it at that.
They were not
Broke my
accommodating, hostile.
in yes, just no way, no way am I gonna do that.
Mm. Yeah, well, I've been through the training with you and I know their attitudes are a lot different than ours. And they have a lot of good reasons for it from what they've seen.
Absolutely,
Right?
they do.
But
They do.
still, it's good that you don't have all the reasons they have, that you haven't seen what
Yeah,
they have, and you go
right,
in
right,
just knowing that each person has the dignity of the divine impression,
right,
right? The divine thumbprint on each one of
right,
them. We're all image
right.
bearers, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Is this a good place
Well,
to
as a
stop? Is
result
there
of that,
anything else you want to say about your ministry right now?
did you say, is this a good place to stop? Is that what
Hmm.
you said?
Yeah.
Um, I know I need to add one more thing.
Okay. Everyone.
This is good, and we need to hear this. So, uh, so I left the cell blocks, and now I have to wait for a deputy to come to let me back in the Bible room because I have to put the Bible that I used to teach back in the Bible room. I can't take it out. So, so the girl buzzed for somebody to come, and there's a young deputy, younger, a young man who is the assistant to the chaplain. I've never interacted with him at all, but here he came. And he walks up to me last night and he said, as he's opening the door to let me go back to the Bible, I'm so sorry for what you've had to deal with tonight. Um,
Wow.
and I didn't, and bless his little heart, bless his little heart. I just said, look, I've had it with all this stuff. And I took it all out on him. It didn't bother him at all. He understood. But I said, look, I'm just sick of all this. I'm sick of every time I come in here, there's one thing or another, and I'm just tired. And he said, I know you're tired. I'm
Oh.
sorry. So he took me
Aw.
back there, let me put that. Then we came back out, and when we went back in the Bible room, I said, look, I'm just physically worn out. I'm sorry I'm taking all this out on you, but it's just wearing me out. I told him he's a believer. He's the assistant to the chaplain. So he's a
Oh.
believer. And so he understands what I'm saying. And then, so he said, I said, I'm so sorry. We came back out in the hall. I said, look, I'm really sorry. I'm just taking it out on you. It's not your fault. It's no problem. I understand. No problem whatsoever. He said, but
Mhm.
here, you need to be praying. Let's pray. The chaplain and I, they're going through it. They don't agree with everything that's going on. He said, just let's all make it. We pray about what's going on. And it just, boom, is like, here's this young man. He's saying, lady, pray. Let's just keep praying. We know it's hard. We understand it's hard. We don't want it to be this way, but let's just pray.
Just
Let's just,
acknowledging it,
yeah,
was so helpful for you.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
so helpful. And that to
yeah,
me feels like an incarnational moment where
yeah.
God used his face. We were talking in the beginning how the faces of the deputies can become the faces of the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. And then at the end of this story, we're seeing the face of God come to you through this
I
young.
actually, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought an angel came and
Yeah, I
spoke to
mean,
me.
that's what it sounds like. It was an incarnational moment.
Yeah, it was. It was unbelievable.
Oh God, that's such a
Yeah,
beautiful way to end. I mean, that's such a God kiss.
yeah.
That to me was God saying, in other words, you're doing a good work and you can't come down.
You know, when I think about it, it was like that young man was really saying that to me.
Yeah, he
Please,
was.
I know what you're doing.
Right.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Wow.
got to see my shirt.
Okay, let's see it. When God
Let's see.
made
I cannot do this.
when God made me, he grinned and said, "This will be fun." I love it. That's for sure. I love it, Judy. Oh, great story, great report. Can't wait to hear more.
You
We'll
know,
get together next month and hear some more about what God's doing. I'm gonna go ahead and close this recording out.
okay, just so before,
You
just so that
say, I want to hear you say, I'm doing a good work and I won't come down.
I'm doing a good work and I won't come down. I won't come down.
There you go. That's great. That's a great way
I
to
just
end it.
want to share the Boyd side of me is not fun, but I think everybody I just give the whole package, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and see that I was just so mad
Sure.
telling that guy stuff,
Mhm.
and he just took it like,
Yeah.
I understand. No
Oh.
big deal.
Mm.
We're good, he said. We're good.
I love it. I love it. All right.
Here's the thing,
Sign
older
off to
people,
everybody and then, or do you want
like
to say?
other people need
Okay.
to learn this.
Okay.
We can learn so much from young people.
Mm,
Don't think they can't minister to those inmates minister to me. You
right.
know, so
Right.
we need to constantly learn until they put us in the ground. Okay, that's it.